We've reached day 5 and binoculars. So here is our sketch for that day. Nothing too surprising here. But there's a problem, and the problem is glass. In fact, we've got glass. We've got glass which is mildly, I guess it would be convex. That's the one that comes out. If not concave, you check me. But yeah, it's curved. And we've got these two glass images. I know that we can do a lot of wild things with binoculars people have in the past, but I just want to give the impression that we're looking at glass. So how do you do that? Well, once again, we're going to return to the apex treasury of underground comics. Again, not kid-friendly, right? We've established that. But we're going to look here to see how people used to do it in the very heavily inked world of underground comics back in the late 60s and early 70s. And we're back to Mr. Natural. We're back to our crumb. And here we have a television set. We've moved one page in. And you can see in the TV now, normally the aspect ratio of a TV tube is, what is it, 4:3? Something in that nature. What Crumb has done here is he's rounded it out a little bit. So this is a little bit less rectangular and actually approaching circular. So this is a really good pattern or a sample of what we can do. So look what he has done. He's got individual lines on one side and then heavier lines on the other. They're all essentially going in the same direction, which is a little counterintuitive. The temptation would be to follow the curve, but he has them going in one direction. I think that's probably pretty close to how shading on glass works in reality. That you're going to create shade from the light's direction, and it's going to create that effect, and it is going to be one directional. So we're going to try and do that. So let's put that away for the moment and go ahead and take a closer look. So we've got two circular surfaces. My outer circles are pretty good because I used a template for them. My inner circles were hand by hand, and they're a little more wonky, but that's okay. By the way, if you're ever looking for things to use, obviously what you're probably going to do is you're going to grab everything and reach, right? That's what I do. Or I head for the bathroom and all my wife's cosmetics, right? All those different bottles with different shapes. But here's something that's worth having on hand. Little Dixie cups or plastic cups. That's the smallest size I have. Here's an intermediary. And this one's pretty large, right? They probably even come larger, so you can do that. As far as inking goes, I don't tend to use these to trace around when I'm inking. I'll do it with a pencil. I tend to use my hand just because I'm afraid that I can't see what I've got, and I'm gonna end up, messing up. Maybe that's not a huge problem if you're careful and you make sure that you look at it from every corner and every well. They don't have corners of their circles, right? But from every possible perspective, and you make sure you're on the line. But I'm just going to kind of avoid it. So let's use this one here on the left. Our left, his right. So remember how the lines went. We had less lines on one side, more and longer lines on the other, but all basically the same direction. And not a lot of lines. Not a lot. Because this reflection thing on glass is not going to have the same shadow quality as something on clothing or skin or a floor. It's just not going to work that way because glass is so reflective. So we're gonna basically keep this direction with our line. So we'll start up here. Again, not a lot. Not very densely spaced. Now we're starting to get into the side which had more. Maybe a little longer. Put just a couple more there. Why? Why not? Couple more here. I know I was saying it's going to be very, very stingy with how many I put down, but here I am going a little overboard, but hey, I think the effect's okay. So there we have it, this idea, and I'm stepping back and actually looking at the screen of my computer to see how this looks from a distance, and I'm figuring I want a little more down there. And I like that. I think that gives the impression of circular glass. So that's about it. I'm sure there's other ways to do it, but I like that way. It's simple, and you can get it done very quickly, because I know glass or any kind of reflective surface when you're talking about pen and ink can be really, really daunting. All right, we'll see you back for day 6.
There's a whole lot more in the Real Toy Chest of Doom. Gently tap the subscribe button to ensure that you're not shut out from any of the clay. Cheers.